Hello, Capricorn. Welcome to Bow and Arrow Tarot. Let's get right into your December outlook. Three of Pentacles, High Priestess, and the Hanged Man. Wow. All right. Capricorn, right away we come out with a work card, right, for you. You are the earth sign, the sign that is all about work. You're all about your money. You're one of the hardest working signs in the zodiac. And right away we come out with Three of Pentacles. So this December, beginning this last week, as this video is coming out after the first week of December, you will have been engaged in a lot at work, specifically being sought out, right? People are checking you out for your work. People are asking you a lot of questions. They're asking for your advice. They want your expertise, right? You're working with others. Some of you are going to be working in group projects and definitely sort of standing out in those things. So that looms right away very large in your first week of December outlook. And yet, you have High Priestess and Hangman energy coming in. And so for some of you still, though, there's a feeling for you, Capricorn. Something is nagging at you. Something is nagging at your intuition. There's something about all of this work that is making you feel as though you may not be getting what you truly desire or want. It may be beginning to dawn on you that there's still no progress happening here, right? So I'm going to go a little bit deeper, but immediately that's the first feeling I have, that for you, Capricorn, this December is about you, like everybody pulling on your energy. They want you, they want your expertise, they want your time, and yet you don't necessarily feel like you're getting the gain for all of the effort that you're putting in. Let's pull some more cards. Death. Again, death has come out for, I'm going to say, at least 9 of the readings that I did out of the 12. Knight of Cups energy, Three of Swords. Wow. All right. Stuck and feeling some betrayal here. You're dealing with a lot of work issues, as I said, but something is nagging at your intuition. You're stuck in a particular situation, and yet death comes in. There's a huge transformation that happens. Somebody comes in with a cup of love for you, and yet there is some, I want to say, a feeling of betrayal. Let me pull the next line because I want to be sure about this message. Queen of Cups, Seven of Cups. All right, here we go. Capricorn, this is a very specific reading for a Capricorn who has been in a relationship, all right? But you've been the one working. You've been working a lot in this relationship, right? You may not have necessarily been very happy in this relationship, and yet you put up with certain things. You put up with everything. I want to say it almost feels like you've put up with not necessarily being extremely happy with the work that you're doing or the life that you're leading, and yet you stay in this relationship. You're not exactly completely sort of satisfied within your own what you're doing, but you're doing work. It's sort of, you're doing the 9 to 5, you're going into work, you're really good at your job, you're bringing that money home, and almost it feels like it's in a way out of duty to this connection that you have. Yet in your heart of hearts, you're really kind of uninspired. You know that you're not working to your full potential. And so what happens, it's almost interesting. It feels to me here that someone comes into you towards the middle of the month, which is going to be around the next 7 days, 7 to 10 days, that really changes all of this on its head. Someone comes into you that kind of offers you some affection, some attention. You're in this love connection with somebody, you're kind of just doing things sort of on automatics, almost robotic. It's like you fell in love with this person, you hooked up with this person, and it feels to me like for quite some time now, it's probably been a very lackluster relationship. There may not have been very much affection. You may have felt like you're very much standing still. There's not been any progress. Perhaps it didn't even go very much deeper, but you've done what you needed to do. You brought home the money. I feel here also like you were very much the one responsible, right? You may have been the one who's like in charge of bringing home the money. You know, there may be children involved. There may be responsibilities like that involved. Nevertheless, somebody comes in for you towards the middle of the month, Capricorn, and they show you something that you really haven't had in a long time, which is genuine affection and attention. Something also occurs towards the middle of the month that is a betrayal. And it's not you betraying your partner. It's as if once this person comes in for you and begins to kind of show you some love, affection, attention, even maybe a hint of romance or flirtation, not that you indulged that or that you cheated on your current connection, but they're just showing you something you haven't had for a really long time. As a result of them opening up your eyes to that and allowing you to feel feelings that you haven't felt for a very long time, it's almost as if you come out of this kind of haze that you've been in and you realize that the person you've been with has not necessarily been 100% faithful or honest or truthful. It's one of those realizations that you come to, Capricorn, that all this time you've been foregoing all your own dreams to work and be responsible for this connection. And it turns out that the person you're with has not been responsible at all. And for some of you, not even faithful. You begin to see that you've been taken for granted. You kind of knew in your heart that this person really, and when I say this person, I keep looking at this Three of Swords. This represents the individual that you're in this love connection with. You kind of knew for quite some time that they weren't actually really giving you what you truly need, but you may have been making excuses for them, right? There's been some fear there for you to sort of really face up to the truth. It's like being with somebody that you know deep, deep, deep down inside, they don't love you the way you want them to love you. They don't really love you the way they need you. You need them. They don't love you the way you need them to love you, right? But you love them. You've kind of accepted that you love them. And so what are you going to do? You know, you just stick in it, even though you're not really happy. And then your eyes get opened up and you realize, hey, hang on a second. Not only am I not happy, but they haven't even really cared for me. You know what I mean? They haven't even really I feel strong treachery here, betrayal. It may even come out that this individual that you've been connected with, Capricorn, has been lying to you about certain things, right? So big transformation comes in, huge change. I feel like this Knight of Cups also, Capricorn, is going to be somebody who comes into you through your work. You know, it's like you're slogging away, you're working. You've been doing everything that you normally do. You know, you've been kind of just accepting your life the way it is. This Knight of Cups comes in during the course of your everyday work. This Knight of Cups comes in and bang. And it isn't even like it's a strong love connection, but they come into you with a desire and a sense of focus and attention on you that you haven't had in quite some time, Capricorn. And so it's not like it's a huge love connection that comes in and boom, you're in love with somebody else. It's more that just the way they speak to you and treat you. You know what I mean? It's just like you're used to somebody who isn't very kind or thoughtful. And that's the feeling I get here. And this person comes in and they're extremely thoughtful and your whole world turns around. You begin to come out of this haze, right? You begin to come out of this sort of, I want to say, dream that you've been in. Queen of Cups, Seven of Cups, Magician. Seven of Cups energy is all about wanting something that's unattainable, right? This person who's come in for you has really sort of begun. And Capricorn, you're an earth sign, right? Strong earth, strong hard worker. And yet it's almost in this scenario as if sort of your emotional side has been neglected for quite some time. This person represented by this Knight of Cups who comes into you and kind of shakes this up. They almost shake up your heart a little bit. Your heart's been kind of in stasis. It's like your heart's been in a cryogenic chamber, just there, right? But not really, no passion has been sparked and so this person comes in and really begins to allow you to sort of dig deeper into your own feelings, begin to really check your own feelings, acknowledge your own feelings, feel your feelings, right? And towards the end of this December period, you begin to see that this connection you were in really never had a chance. Hey, listen, like I always say, the tarot readings, it's not an exact science or art form. Everything can change. I don't believe in being able to read the future because the future is, You know, as they say in quantum mechanics, it is a field of infinite probability, right? So there's no way that a tarot spread can read your future. We're just tapping into energies, right? About what may be going on here. And in this case, I'm going to go out on a limb and say, if you resonate with this reading, once you tap into your heart and what you truly desire, you're realizing that the person you're with was never going to be able to give you what you want. That you settled for whatever reason, right? Maybe you were exhausted of trying to find, someone who could instill that. Maybe you didn't know. Maybe it's been some time before you've actually checked in with yourself to see what you truly desire, right? Nevertheless, you have had hangman energy for quite some time, which is all about sort of just hanging around, not a lot of effort. A lot of people call this being stuck or frozen. The hangman talks about very much somebody who hasn't been inspired to move. It's not so much that they're frozen or stuck, but they simply haven't been inspired enough to make an effort. So the hangman represents, with that halo of illumination, it represents a period, generally, not of the time where you're kind of just moving along, but really a specific period in your life where suddenly inspiration does come in and you realize that you've just been hanging around and not putting a lot of effort in. That yes, to a certain degree you have been stuck, but you haven't been stuck because you couldn't move. You've been stuck because you didn't feel like moving. Nothing inspired you to move, right? Nothing inspired you to do more. Maybe you had a belief that you couldn't do more, but yet that inspiration comes in. Magician energy comes in towards the end of the month. You feel absolutely amazing because suddenly things begin to come up that have really been dampened down, that have been sort of tucked away. You begin to really feel yourself with a lot of strong confidence. Let's get some clarity. That confidence comes in because you are awakened. You suddenly do get inspiration from this person who comes in. You are beginning to tap into your feelings. And to a certain degree, I don't feel a lot of mourning about this relationship. I think that you've been wanting to leave this relationship probably for quite some time. Let's get these clarifiers. 10 of Wands and change. Wow, 6 of Cups. All right, 7 of Wands. So, all right, let me hit that 6 of Cups. Boom. 6 of Cups is the card for affection. Affection, loving, tenderness, right? 6 of Cups in almost all decks. Traditional tarot decks is always symbolized and represented with 2 children playing because it's the most innocent sort of connection that we can have with someone. That connection that we have, that natural affection, the natural affection that you see children have with each other. When children meet each other for the first time, oftentimes they'll hug, they'll sit, they'll share. 6 of Cups is our harmony, right? And so that feeling comes in strong. All right. 6 of Cups energy. That feeling comes in strong with that Knight of Cups. That's what I'm talking about. This individual comes into you, Capricorn, is going to make you almost feel childlike again. That innocent, kind of very strong, but real affection and sort of attention that comes in with it that I think you've probably been lacking for quite some time. And 10 of Wands, 7 of Wands. Well, immediately, 10 of Wands energy, realizing that you've been carrying some burdens, realizing that you have been sort of moving along, certain hang-ups, right? 10s are always about completion. It's the snake, it's completion, and yet it's beginning again. The next after 10 is the Ace, it's the 1, it's beginning again. You're coming to a period in your life where you're realizing sort of it's time to let go of some of the things you've been carrying. And yet at the same time, 7 of Wands, being strong and fighting for what you have. And so this is what it feels like to me. To recap, and I will be pulling some oracle cards to see where your energies are, but to recap the general reading, Capricorn, you are a hardworking Capricorn. You've been working very hard. You've been bringing money home. Some of you may have been workaholics. You may have been burying your head in the work because at home you have been in a connection where you just haven't been very excited, very happy. You probably haven't had sex for a very long time with this individual. In your heart of hearts, in your gut, your intuition has been telling you for a very long time that this is not working, yet you've been kind of stuck. You've been uninspired to move forward. There hasn't been anything in your life that's made you feel like, oh, well, maybe I should move on. In that degree, Capricorn, who is normally usually not a lazy sign whatsoever, but in your own life, when it comes to attention to your own heart, perhaps you have been a little bit lazy or sort of perhaps disregarding. Nevertheless, during the middle of this month comes in a huge change. Somebody comes in. It could be an old friend. It could be an old lover that comes into you, right? Could be somebody new. But for some of you, it's going to be an old friend or an old lover that you haven't seen in quite some time that comes into you and reminds you of how sexy and exciting and attractive you are. They begin to sort of wake up that side of you that's been dormant in this kind of lackluster connection. You also begin to realize that this person you've been sort of compromising yourself for has never been worth it. There is going to be a revelation somewhere about perhaps this whole time they may have been cheating on you. This whole time they may have never wanted to actually marry you or move further or progress wherever. But there's definitely going to be a sense of betrayal there in terms of how much you've been putting in this whole time and realizing that it truly, really wasn't worth it. But that's okay. It's very short-lived. You begin to really get into your own feelings. You begin to realize that you were never going to have what you wanted with this individual. There's a huge change that comes in. Towards the end of the month, you begin to lay down some of the baggage that you've carried around with you that allowed you to stay in this sort of lackluster, loveless relationship. You lay that down and you have a renewed sense of fire when it comes to protecting what you have achieved in your life. For some of you, you're going to break up with this individual and come out of it very, very strong, very, very quickly. For some of you, you've already in your heart of hearts sort of broken away from this person. You just needed this last oomph to kind of physically move on. But you definitely come out at the end of the month, Magician energy, very confident, capable. Things start to work out for you. Let's pull these oracle cards. All right. Spirit of the snowflake, spirit of the dwelling place. So the snowflake talks about things being irreplaceable, special, one of a kind, unique. Every single snowflake ever is unique. There's no such thing as two snowflakes that look the same, for those of you who didn't know that. So every single snowflake is unique, which is quite amazing for the amount that have landed, right, even on the earth for as long as it's been here. So very special. Very special. You recognizing that and recognizing the value of that. Spirit of the dwelling place. Spirit of the dwelling place. Home, structure, foundation. This speaks to, I want to say, this Six of Cups coming in. I believe this individual comes in and reminds you how special, sexy, attractive, passionate you are. Is somebody from your home, somebody from a place that a place that you feel security, right? A place that I want to say a memory. This is definitely for some of you going to be an old friend, an old lover, somebody from your hometown, somebody that really reminds you of where you come from. And in that way, reminds you of who you truly are. Time to move on. Interesting reading, Capricorn. I've been wanting to say Pisces a lot throughout this reading. Some of you Capricorns may be dealing with Piscean energy, or you may be dealing with someone who is a Pisces. But nevertheless, again, a very specific reading. This reading is not going to resonate with everyone. It may even just resonate with one or two of you who have come to this video today. And if that happens, I'm happy for that. All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming to Bow and Arrow Tarot. This is your outlook for December, Capricorn. My name is Dorothy. I wish you love, light, and peace. And I hope to see you at your next video. Take care now.